Hi, Facebook. This is Carisha Young here, coming to you again with Tuesday's live stream this week. Why being selfish is not selfish. I'm doing this from my desktop instead of my phone. So hopefully the quality is a little bit better and you can hear me okay. So I work with, really amazing type A, high performing entrepreneurs and executive women who are at the point where they just don't want to feel like shit anymore. You're having a lot of symptoms happening in your body. Maybe you're struggling with losing weight. Maybe you're feeling really super overwhelmed, really stressed out. And you're just at the point where you just don't want to feel this way anymore. And you're looking for a solution that is non-elimination, that fits into your super busy life, because I know you're busy and you don't have a ton of time to implement all of the huge plans and stuff that are out there these days. So that's where I come in. And I have been, live streaming. I have a podcast. I have a blog. I have all sorts of resources for you to check out ways that you can do the healthy hustle and live your most delicious life while still, maintaining your A-type status. I'm not going to take that away from you in terms of, being busy and being on a mission and really wanting to get shit done. But I am here to help you take better care of yourself and show you ways in which you can do that without having to overhaul your entire life, because I know you got a lot of shit going on. So what I wanted to talk about today is why being selfish is not selfish. So the last couple of, over the last week or so, I spoke to a couple different women, and what a theme that was coming up last week was that these women were really overwhelmed. They were looking after their kids and parents and a busy job. And so that kind of left no time for them. And they were really exhausted, and their bodies were starting to give out as a result of the stress and the exhaustion and all of that. And just even the thought of like taking care of themselves or doing anything was really overwhelming. And not to mention selfish sounding. And I challenged one of the women that I spoke with about what being selfish really truly means, and for her to find some benefits in being selfish and taking care of herself first. So what I wanted to talk about today was 3 small ways that you can start to bring in some selfishness into your everyday that will help sort of find a little bit more balance in your life when you are in this complete overwhelm state. And balance doesn't necessarily mean that it's 50-50. Balance is usually something that looks more like, this maybe, instead of completely like this. And I'm never trying to achieve a complete, utter state like this with any of my clients, because it's impossible. Life happens, and it's an impossible ideal to maintain a standard of perfection balance 24/7 all the time. So, and the other common theme that these women had that I spoke with was putting on this happy face all the time and making it seem like everything was perfect and they had it all together. But inside, these women were screaming, dying for a break, dying for just a change in this constant state of everybody demanding something on them. I don't know if you can resonate with this or not, and if you can, please continue watching. This isn't going to be a really long one. And try implementing some of the strategies that I will be talking to you about today. So my whole thing is all about finding calm in your chaos. My whole thing is about helping you find ways in which to bring in this healthier lifestyle while you are busy. So it's not about overhauling. It's not about, kicking the parents out of the house or anything like that. This is about really trying to fit in these things in the busy life that you already have. And in with the end goal of you starting to feel more centered and calmer and healthier and overall better in your day-to-day. So the analogy that I use the most, and if I'm looking over here, it's just because I have some notes so I stay on track. The analogy that I use the most, and a lot of people use this analogy when it comes to self-care, is it's like when you're on an airplane and they tell you that if the plane's going down or the oxygen's going down or whatever, you got to put that oxygen mask on yourself first so that you don't die while you're trying to take care of somebody else, right? Self-care is the same kind of thing. When you are a woman who is responsible for looking after a lot of different things, and let's face it, a lot of women are, if you're not somehow refilling your cup, you're going to be so completely depleted in your own self that it's going to start manifesting in physical symptoms for sure. It'll manifest in mental and emotional symptoms as well, 100%. But also what happens is you're thinking that you're being so awesome at giving and providing so much for all these people, and you are, but you're not doing it in a way that is fulfilling to absolutely everybody. I'm sure you're snapping. I'm sure you're super resentful, super angry, and probably walking around really pissed off that you're in this position in the first place, but putting on that happy face, pretending that everything is okay. That's not a good place to be in. I would rather see you be in a position where you are giving from a place that you have something to give, as opposed to, having like the life sucked out of you, okay? That, my friend, comes down to you. So this is how you need to take back some control in your own life, have some boundaries around this, and decide how much of your time you're going to give to others and how much you're going to keep for yourself. And you may think that you don't have enough time right now to do that, but I'll tell you, you do. With every one of my clients, I work with very, very, very busy women, and we can always find time for this kind of stuff. It's obviously a lot easier when I'm working one-on-one with you, because I can take a look at what your life looks like and see where the gaps are and help you fit this in there. So for now, because I don't know you, I'm going to give you 3 suggestions that you can try. And if at the end none of these suggestions are working for you, then I would suggest then maybe scheduling a call with me, and then we can look at how we can strategize that for you. So really quickly, the first suggestion would be to make your showers a little bit longer. So you have to get ready to go to work or to do whatever anyway. I'm hoping you're showering. So if you are, take an extra 5 to 10 minutes, if you possibly can, in the morning or at night or whatever it is. Just, that's your sacred time. And just be like, I'm having an extra long shower. And in the shower, you can use that space as somewhere for you to, visualize or meditate or breathe, or you can imagine the shower, the water is like showering down on you different colors of light, if that works for you, right? Depends on your imagination and where you're at and how woo-woo you are. But you can just imagine that like cleansing you in a way and helping you, give you strength to either deal with what's coming up for you in the rest of your day, or cleanse out all the bullshit that you don't need, that you dealt with all day long, right? So you know your schedule best, but I think that's a really great space for you, because nobody's going to come in. Well, my kids always come in when I'm in the shower, but whatever. Chances are, the parents aren't going to come in while you're having a shower. Some people aren't going to bother you, and especially if you lock the door, right? So use that space as a place for you to sort of regroup and recenter, all right? Another place that you can do that is in your commute. My client actually was just telling me about how when she has a commute from where she works to going back home, and it's about 30 minutes. And in that space, she doesn't even listen to the radio. It's just complete silence. And I'm like, that is awesome. I love that she's already implementing that, because she can take that space to calm everything down, to recenter, to regroup. That's her couple of minutes for herself. That's her 30 minutes to herself, where she doesn't have to answer to fucking anybody. And she can just be whatever, you know? Use that time to scream if you're in a car. If you're feeling super stressed out, cry, okay? One of the first things I read when I first started this whole holistic journey, it was really funny because I was in this space. I was so overwhelmed and so stressed out. And the first thing I got this book, it was called Holistic Anatomy. And the first page I opened it up to was about how when you cry, cortisol is released in your tears. So it's a good thing. We want that shit out of your body, okay? So do what you need to do. And if you're commuting on the GO train, or, well, you might not know what a GO train is. If you're commuting on a train or the subway or anything like that, that's another really great space to do something like listening to inspiring podcasts, listening to books, listening to me, my podcast, listening to these live streams, or even doing a meditation. So I used to meditate on the subway, all right? That would be my space. And it wasn't the best place to meditate. Like, I was not sitting cross-legged all oming, all right? I was standing with my face usually plastered up against some stinky guy's chest, but I had my headphones in and I was listening to a guided meditation, and I closed my eyes and I didn't care, because that was my space. That was my time, right? And I set that boundary for myself. So what I want you to walk away here with is the permission to set these boundaries for yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do this for yourself. And then the last one is, you know, this might be a stretch and this might be really uncomfortable, and I hope it is. Make 1 hour of your week completely non-negotiable. And in that 1 hour, do something just for you in that one spot. And if this makes you feel really, really uncomfortable, then this is the thing that I would love to see you start with. Because starting with the easy stuff is easy, right? But it doesn't invoke real, true change. So when you look at the more uncomfortable stuff and the things that are like, oh no, I couldn't do that. I don't have an hour. How am I going to find an hour? Oh no, I can't take an hour for myself, because then those people, if you're saying those things in your head, then I would love for you to take and find an hour. And I don't care if it's 2 30-minute slots or whatever, but again, be relentless around this. This is a non-negotiable. This is your life we're talking about here, okay? This is serious. And if you're feeling completely depleted, exhausted, your body's giving out, this is your body telling you you have to start making shifts and changes. And that starts with you. That starts with your own boundaries. That starts with your own mindset around all of this. And instead of being a martyr to the situation, you need to be like a strong, confident, powerful woman and saying, you know what? I'm not putting up with this anymore, and I'm going to give myself the gift, and I'm going to give myself permission to have an hour a week to myself. And I promise you, when you get over the discomfort of doing something like that and standing up for yourself, even if you're like all shaky and like, oh, I can't do that. Once you have that space, you will never give that up again. And that will be your place, your space. And that's where you will grow. That's where you will become a better woman. And you'll be able to give so much more from that place, as opposed to from the place of resentment, from anger, from feeling sick all the time, from feeling depleted, right? That's where I want to get you, is feeling more energized and feeling calmer and feeling more secure and feeling more confident and feeling just better overall. And so these tips that I've given you in this live stream today are all going to get you closer to that point, because the overwhelmed, exhausted woman is not the woman who we want to put out into the world. And you know, we have a big responsibility as women to really, you know, help kind of heal the world according to the Dalai Lama. And we're not going to do it if we're completely exhausted and burnt out and pissed off and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, give yourself this gift and give yourself, I'm giving you permission to do this in your own life and for yourself. And like I said before, if this is something that you're really struggling with, or you're like, oh, dude, I have no fucking clue when I'm going to fit this into my life, or I can't even like fathom this right now, then, you know, I really encourage you, to book a call with me and maybe take that 1 hour and use that with me. And what I can do is take a look at your life and see what's going on and give you some real strategies based on exactly where you're at. And, you know, that's customized to you. And that might be way more helpful than sitting and trying to read a book for an hour or whatever. So think about how you want to use that hour. And if you want to use that hour with me, I'd be more than happy to help you with that. It's totally free. I'll put the link in the notes, in the comments, and grab yourself that spot and give yourself that gift of the time and the knowledge and the know-how on how to, you know, create this new existence for yourself that isn't completely depleting you and burning you out every single day. So thank you very much for, you know, listening today to, or watching today's live stream. I really appreciate it. I'll be back here again tomorrow, so make sure that you stay tuned. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please feel free to use the chat box, depending on how you're watching, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Thank you so much for watching. I tried to keep this to 5 minutes, but it's not going to happen. 16 minutes, sorry. Anyway, whatever. Thank you very much. Loved you. And remember, take care of yourself this week. Bye for now.